Sarah Connor was cremated in Mexico. Her friends scattered her ashes in the sea. They stored these weapons in accordance with her will.
What happened to her?
Leukemia.
What actually happened was not leukemia at all. It was
Diabetes.
well, Linda Hamilton refused to return to her role as Sarah Connor in Terminator 3. Hi everyone, it's Ethan McKinley, and this is the 2-Minute Terminator. We're on episode 26 of the 3rd season of the show. It's the we're on Terminator 3, and shall we?
Hit the music.
Yeah.
Howdy, stranger.
Don't say howdy, stranger, to me.
Hi, I'm Chief Master Sergeant William Candy.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
And we're back. Hi everyone, I'm Ethan
Hey.
McKinley.
I'm Ellie Fitzgerald.
Today's lovely bumper music is going to be provided by Jerry Goldsmith, who did the soundtrack to another classic action film, Rambo, part of the First Blood trilogy.
He's Mr. Rambo.
Hey, he's Rambo.
Rambo.
Hey,
Hey.
he's not Scottish though.
Yeah, and he's not part of the Flaming Pussies gang. Sorry, just paying homage to Fanny Flambeau,
I know.
my favourite toy.
So yeah, really, we're on episode 26, chock full of guns. It starts with
We
a coffin full
are.
of guns, and it ends with tear gas being shot into the
Oh
mausoleum.
my god, that's amazing.
We're going from minutes 50 to 52, and it's the 2 minutes bridging that gap, and basically it's an expository scene where we find out the not suppository, expository. Essentially, the Terminator and John explaining that Sarah, although she is dead, she isn't in this coffin. It's full of guns.
It's almost like a gift beyond the grave.
Well, a gift beyond the grave, of course. It's a will, Ellie. In accordance with Sarah's will, this coffin was filled with guns.
Yeah.
And it was here to be left for John should anything arise in the near future, which it was, and that's why they're here.
Well, wasn't that lucky?
The only question is, here's my question. This isn't a cock-up, this isn't part of anything that's coming up in the show, but it just popped into my head. John is surprised when the coffin is opened. So is this when John learns what's in the coffin, right?
Yeah.
So he learns what's in the coffin after the fact, right? After Sarah's death. She can't impart this knowledge to John because John's finding this information out now.
Yeah, I'm assuming so.
The Terminator knows what's in the coffin. So who told the Terminator or programmed the Terminator to tell John that the stuff was in the coffin?
Future John.
But how would Future John know?
Because Future John knows everything.
So Future John's finding this out now.
No.
And then in the future, he will tell this Terminator to go back and tell this John.
Well, no, because Future John's like... Wait.
Here's my point. Future John has to tell this Terminator, doesn't he? To come back and explain that this coffin is full of guns and where it is, right?
Yeah.
How would Future John know if Sarah's put this in her will and hasn't told John? John's finding this out for the first time. The Terminator knows this. John doesn't. So who tells the Terminator if John doesn't know? It would have to be Sarah Connor, right?
Yeah.
Or where does Sarah's will come out? Who reads the will? John
Yeah.
obviously doesn't know what's in his mother's will.
I demand to see the will.
I didn't want to see the will. I want my money.
I want my... Bitch better have my money.
I want my FaceTime with Brett.
Shit.
But that's literally just popped into my head that like
Yeah, no, that's a really good shout, dude.
the Terminator knows, but who told the Terminator?
the
It would have to be John because John's the only one alive in the future, or Kate Brewster. But those two characters are finding out what's in the coffin now. So if they don't know what's in the will, how would the Terminator know what's in the will? Because he'd have to be told by someone who knew what was in the will.
Yeah.
That's just my little thing. That's what we're here to discuss on the show, by the way, listeners.
Inconsistency.
Welcome if you have just joined us.
Yeah. Going along with the old school original Terminator soundtrack by Brad Fiedel.
Well, here's another little thing for you, Ellie.
Is it a thing?
It's a thing.
Is it something that I can accompany with another word that makes it rhyme?
Trivia.
So it's trivia schmivia.
Yeah. when they're in the cemetery, there's a headstone that says O'Brien on it.
Yeah.
Now, what people think is it's a reference to George Orwell's 1984 film in which there's a character called O'Brien living in a dystopian future.
Did people actually
Not
get
similar
that from
to...
that?
Yeah, I think
People actually look into cinema that deep?
I think that's a really long stretch. Really.
That's a really fucking long stretch.
A really long stretch. So yeah, as we mentioned in the last episode as well, Linda Hamilton turned down this role and didn't want to be part of the third Terminator films. They just wrote her out of the script basically and said she had died of leukemia.
Souls, babe. You got done by the Lukes.
But yeah, my question is, who tells the Terminator that that coffin is full of guns?
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good shout, Ethan. I'd never thought about that before.
Because John's obviously surprised. He's discovering this now. He obviously knows the mother's died from leukemia. Sarah's died from this disease and died. But the Terminator reveals to him that her ashes were scattered in New Mexico, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
She was cremated.
Yeah. Now, according to the novelization, John practiced with all of these weapons in Baja, California, with Sarah's old biker friends and the militia people she hung out with. I guess you see little peep like, is it Jose? No, God, who's the guy in Terminator 2?
Which guy?
The Mexican militia guy. They go to see, and he goes, "Uncle Bob, okay." I've forgotten his name. It's really escaping me right now.
I can't think of it either. Let's just call him Jose. Hey, Jose. I can't remember.
No.
Let's just call him Linda Squeeze.
You're not very chatty in this episode, Ellie. What's up?
Oh, nothing. Nothing at all.
Right, chock full of guns. Do you want to know what's in the
Yeah, I want to know what's in this massive trunk.
Okay.
Give me the trunk.
Well, here's the thing with this film. John quotes his mother in the cemetery as saying, every day after 29th of August 1997, the original Judgment Day is a gift. Now, this quote is a near exact copy from what Sarah says in Terminator 2. But it's from the original happy ending from the second one.
Happy ending.
You know, the one where she's like an old lady and it's like really bad, like Stan Winston makeup. She looks like a bunch of knees taped together.
Yeah. Bunch of knees taped together. That's the most amazing description of a person ever.
I don't know, so what do you think?
What, of this particular 2 minutes?
Give me some insight, woman. Usually the most talkative thing on this show.
I thought you were like building up to something. I thought that's why I was keeping quiet.
No.
Oh, okay, cool. So, first question: what's with all the shit vases in the background?
They're urns.
Dear.
Although, yeah, I don't know why there'd be urns in the
Why
mausoleum.
would they, okay, yeah. So yeah,
Unless they're behind glass.
but they're not.
But isn't the nature of an urn is you're supposed to scatter it?
Yeah, and plus it's meant to be like a. Sure, this is personal. Just putting a load of urns in like a fucking framed wall.
Mm.
That's not personal, is it?
No.
Like, what's with all this? And it looks right. Let's just go back
Don't need
on
to
that.
do that. If you just do that on the top of the mouse, on the front of the mouse.
Oh, well, it's my connection is. Oh, it's connected now.
Yeah, you can rewind on the mouse, you see. There you go. Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I don't know. It's really weird.
It just looks really tacky.
I'm
I'd be
not sure how
devastated.
American-
I'd be devastated if someone took me to go see my mother and then
And
put her
knocks
in
your
there.
urn off the shelf. I'm like, we should leave. I just broke one of the urns.
I'd snort it and see if I got high. Take on the powers of the deceased.
Okay, one of our listeners, James Spaldner, is a big guns and ammo nut. So this one's for you, sir.
Yeah.
Sarah's arsenal of weapons consists of arsenal. Right, there's a 30 caliber machine gun in there. Oh, by the way, links to all the guns and their availability are in the show notes of this show. So if you scroll down on your iPad or your iTunes, you can actually see it in the show notes. A 30 caliber machine gun, 7 Russian-made AK-47 rifles with 30 rounds at 7.62 millimeters.
Awesome.
A 9mm Glock pistol.
Whoa. Got my
A
Glock.
bandolier with H&W stun grenades used by the US Special Forces. A Law anti-tank rocket. That's the thing the T-800 fires at the TX in the cemetery later on. In fact, made more famous by the Rambo 2 poster, First Blood Part 2,
Ooh.
when he has that actual rocket launcher.
Ooh. Ooh. Fancy that.
There's a 40mm MK19 grenade launcher. 4 bricks of C4 plastic explosive with acid fusers. A Glock 17, the gun Kate draws on the Terminator. A 9mm Beretta. A Stoner 630.30 caliber machine gun. Not that kind of stoner. An RPG-7 rocket-propelled grenade launcher with 85mm shells. They carry these 5-pound heat warheads, and they can penetrate 1 foot of steel armor plating. So,
Look in my trunk. Okay, right. You've done all what they are. How much do you reckon that coffin is worth?
the coffin itself would be many thousands of dollars.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the contents.
Probably many thousands of dollars.
See, this is what I was thinking. As you were reading off all these guns, I was like, how much do guns actually cost?
All right, let's Google it.
I'm just intrigued. Because if my mum had left me a whole trunk full of guns, I'm thinking either A, I'm going to go on a really fucked up spree,
$500.
or B,
A Glock.
I'm just going to sell all this shit and go on a really banging holiday.
Yeah, the Glock store, which is at
The Glock store?
yeah,
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Glockstore.com.
Oh my god.
I think their starting price is $459 for a Glock. But they probably wouldn't be paid for. They're probably like stolen. But this is the gun that
I just want to know the monetary value of Linda's will.
well, the
Has she given John a good start in life through her death?
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, it would be a tough decision whether I would actually go on some mad rampage and just use all the ammo and just fire.
Well, it's not a mad rampage, isn't it? This is to set up for a possible.
Oh no, I'm just talking about if I just had a coffin full of guns, just in general.
No, it's possibly to set up for this skew in the timeline, which I guess she's pseudo predicted in that Judgment Day is inevitable, and there's nothing you can do about it, no matter what.
Yeah.
So she set this up for him in her will that her coffin would be filled with guns, and she would be scattered in Mexico.
Do you reckon maybe it was one of her apparitions, and it was Carl Reese that was just like, you need to leave a load of guns in there?
I don't know. It's just one of the major plot holes of the film. How the Terminator knows that this coffin's here, because he would have to be told by someone. The only person he could potentially be told by is John Connor, because in this, I guess, skew in the timeline, Sarah is dead.
And actually, that makes even less sense, because the Terminator wasn't around when she got leukemia. She wouldn't have known when she was going to die. So how the
you'd set that up way ahead of time. People who have, you can set up a will years before your death, even if you know you're not going to die.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. But when she met the Terminator, throughout all that time that he was with her in the second film, as we saw, at no stage did she go, oh, just hang on a second, I'm just going to quickly pop next door and just write up a will. And so the Terminator saw that and was like, logged that.
The Terminator wouldn't see it because the Terminator is not...
Exactly.
He's from the future, he's not from the past.
But that's my point. Like, how it makes even less sense. Because if you think about it, okay, so someone makes a will, right? It doesn't matter. It's just being pernickety. Basically, when she got leukemia and died, Arnie, Terminator, wasn't around to see her be buried or cremated or whatever.
Yeah, but that's what I said. So who tells him? How would he know that this is all set up for John Connor?
I know, I'm just reiterating that.
The only person that could say that is John Connor. Played by Nick Stahl.
You got messed up, AA Ryan! You got messed up! I did rewatch that the other day. Yesterday. It's
Key and
so
Peele.
funny. Yeah, so good. If you have a spare couple of minutes in between listening to these amazing podcasts, check out, what is it? Roy and Peele.
Key and Peele.
Key and Peele. Roll call. It's amazing. It's oh my god. Just do yourself a favour and just YouTube it. It's brilliant. You want to go to war, Blackie? I showed it to this mixed race girl at work, and she absolutely died. She fucking loved it. She thought it was so funny. It's amazing, actually, because she's really cool, and she calls herself a brown person, and she's like, it's brown people problems, isn't it? And I was like, oh my god, that's fucking amazing. I love it so much. She's so non-PC. I was like, yay, you're one of us.
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 Right,
We're all
let's.
pink on the inside, apparently.
The cemetery.
The cemetery.
Yeah.
Have we got some facts about the cemetery? Is it a real cemetery?
I do. The actual Southern California locations where T3 is filmed. Here we go. Let's try and find it. El Dorado Regional Park, which is 16 miles south of LA, I think. Sorry, it's northeast of Long Beach. It's called El Dorado Regional Park. It's located at 2008 Studebaker Road in Long Beach, California. But I don't think it's a cemetery, you know.
Oh.
They set it up to look like a cemetery, so how weird is that?
So it's actually not?
Yeah, it's not. It's
What is it then?
right. Right, later in the sun becomes flat. They are no longer at Rose Hill. Okay. So it's a place called Rose Hill, and then it connects to 2800 Studebaker Road, or 2800.
Oh.
The car escaping is Griffith Park.
Cars escaping.
Cars escaping.
Boys escaping. Did you ever link that to the page, by the way?
Yeah,
Oh, awesome.
I did.
Another thing that I find frustrating about this particular scene. So we get that beautiful shot of the really terrible special effects on Arnie's face, that side on. I mean, look at that.
Why is it terrible?
It just looks really bad.
What, the scratches on the cheeks?
Yeah, and like the
What?
bit above the eye, that doesn't look like metal at all. Does it?
I think it looks okay.
I don't think it does.
Why?
That's fine, but no, whether it's actually exposed, if that was actually should it not be more metallic? Would it not be more shiny? I don't know. I just think it looks bad.
Well, there's that bit, I think, there. Would there be too much flesh in the way to actually see like the metal underneath? Stan Winston obviously did the special effects for this, but is it his finest now, or I don't know?
I question how thick these skin rubber things are.
Well, I think they're super thin. I mean, you could argue it is a marked improvement over Terminator 2, which is kind of like built off his face. But I think in this one, as the film progresses, he especially when they get to the nuclear bunker at the end, there's so much stripped off his face just to show that, oh, look what the effects and stuff we can take off. You kind of lose.
Oh, look at his old man neck.
I think you lose some of Arnie. Well, he was 56 when he did this.
Yeah,
Arnie was 56.
We then have the Terminator kind of,
When she shoots the gun into his mouth.
having a look around. This is my issue. Why is it now all of a sudden that she's going to think, right, I know what I'm going to do.
Make a break for it and
I'm
shoot.
going to make a break for it and go. I would have run fucking ages ago. What is the point of actually picking up some small little pistol in front of a fucking... Whether she believes he's a Terminator or not.
Well, I don't know, but she pulls the trigger, so she means business. I don't understand that the bullet goes in his mouth, though. I know it's like a cool trick with spitting out a bullet and stuff, but you'd have lacerations on your lips because his mouth isn't open when she shoots him. He just goes...
Exactly.
Like that.
Also, yeah, exactly. There's no blood. There's nothing, and also, surely there should be some kind of smoke, no?
Yeah. Well, there's a bit when he spits it out.
No,
I think
there isn't.
there is.
There isn't. Watch.
Let it run.
No,
He
she's
takes
all-
one
she's
step
all-
closer. He
Who
takes
wears a bloody tan linen jacket?
Kate Brewster does, yeah, because she's going to the Galleria.
Sort your life out, wench. Yeah, shoot him in the face. See what happens.
Yeah, see.
No.
Yeah, there's
What, no.
digital smoke.
When he opens his mouth. No smoke.
That's fine. Anyway, here's one for you, Ellie.
Hit me with it.
Sarah Connor dies in August 1997, right?
Yeah.
In accordance with her will, which is when Judgment Day was.
Yeah.
In accordance with her will, she has many guns hidden in the coffin right after her death.
Yeah.
So, after the cemetery scene at the RV, the Terminator pulls a Heckler & Koch UMP-45 out of the coffin. It's spelled COCH, Ellie, relax.
Okay.
The gun wasn't for sale until mid-1999. 2 years after the gun was placed in the coffin. but as it's a time travel film, and as this Terminator already knows as information that could never be told to him at all, I guess we can let that one slide.
We can let that one slide.
Right, the second thing is...
So is that a cock up?
It is.
Cock up.
In the mausoleum, Kate is pointing a pistol at the Terminator. Her finger is alongside the barrel. Then the Terminator grabs the pistol as it fires, hitting the Terminator in the mouth, even though Kate's finger was never even on the trigger.
Oh my god!
So
That's
you
two
notice there's
cock-ups.
no smoke, but you didn't notice that was her finger.
Yeah, I just thought that was a bit lame. That's like it's like when Jim Carrey did it in The Mask, it worked. Because it's all make believe. And it's toy and it's animation.
Ellie, hang on. Let's just stop the show for a second. The Terminator's make believe.
Oh, I know. But what I mean is even in The Mask, he's just mucking about. He is a cartoon in real life. But obviously not in real life because that's
Is this real life?
That's just not real. What do you think this is? Real life?
The T-800 states that Sarah Connor's casket is filled with weapons, including many automatic weapons that are illegal to own privately in the United States, in accordance with her will. A will that is a legit document and thus cannot contain instructions to do anything illegal. Did you know that?
No.
No will basically can have any like illegal kind of whims or orders or activity in them. And
I wonder how that works with Islam.
I don't know. Sarah Connor made the storage of illegal weapons as part of her will, which would not be a valid condition in a will, in any legal will, and therefore, I'm going to keep saying will in the same sentence. So it couldn't be enforced by any judge.
Interesting.
Yes.
Have you got a will, Ethan?
I don't. I don't really own anything apart from this podcast equipment.
Podcast. Yeah, but this is worth a fair buck.
Meh, I'd say so. When the Terminator exits the mausoleum with the casket and turns to fire on the police.
Oh, I think that's out of this 2 minutes, mate.
I know, that's why it's going to be said in the next episode.
But yeah, so she goes to shoot him in the face. He catches it in his mouth. He spits it out. And she's like, oh my God. And then all of a sudden, a smoke bomb gets thrown.
Well, it's tear gas. It's
Is
a
it
tear
tear
gas
gas?
cartridge, yeah.
Get you with your gun knowledge, Mr. Gun. Gunny gun.
It's a low energy episode as Ellie phones it in.
Yeah, but as just Ethan just filling dead air with waffle because he's putting stuff on the show.
I know.
See, Ethan just spends his whole time with his face in his computer, whereas I actually watch the clip.
I'm watching the clip. I saw the clip leading up to this point.
I think you're Scottish. I think that actually you are related to Sean Connery somehow. Because I've noticed recently there are so many similarities between you and Sean.
Thank you. It's ever since you've seen Dragonheart.
It is! Literally. Ever since then. But no, I think you guys are like separated from birth.
Thank you.
Brothers from another mother. I don't know. I just think this. Ooh. I have nothing more to say about this.
That's fine, neither do I. We're about to watch another Marvel movie, aren't we?
Yes!
In the sequence
Iron Man 2.
of Phase 1, I think.
Yeah.
Is it Phase 1?
I don't know. I'm a complete.
I think it's Phase
noob.
1 up to Captain America. So we're going to watch Iron Man 2. Which is what Ellie's itching to get to. That's why she's not invested anything in this show. Which is the complete opposite to what she normally does.
I wrote down saying why vases. What's with the shit vase in the background? Ellie, that's people's ashes.
Well, that's the name of today's show. Why Vases?
Why vases?
Thank you, everyone. We shall return
Or,
tomorrow.
as the Americans would say,
Vases. We shall return tomorrow with episode 27. Thank you all for listening, viewers. We shall return, of course, tomorrow with hopefully more fun and energy from Eleanor, who's usually quite insightful, but it's not. Anyway. Thank you for listening.
thank you for listening.
We'll return
For
for
the
episode
quickening.
27 after this.
Hasta la vista.
Baby.
Watch out for machines. They're unstoppable. Watch out for machines.